How was my first VidCon? Well, let me introduce myself first. Hi, my name is Chris, and I had the amazing opportunity to attend VidCon this year. Now, I could easily do a happy musical montage of my going and coming and the crowds and everything, but that's not what VidCon was for me. VidCon was actually something totally different. I mean, don't get me wrong. I went to panels, I saw some of my favorite creators, I went to a few parties, it was great. But for me, VidCon was about these bunch of people. But let me set the scene for you. Okay, so back in October 2015, I was 70% certain I wanted to go to Comic-Con. And since at the time I had planned to move to San Diego, I figured I could go to Comic-Con, then spend a week in San Diego, maybe look for an apartment or something. However, after realizing I wanted to get back into making YouTube videos and how stupid and crazy it was to get Comic-Con tickets, I decided to go to VidCon instead. So November comes around, I bought my ticket, I booked my hotel, and soon after bought my flight, and bam, I was all set. However, I still had a slight problem. I still didn't know anybody. See, throughout my time of making YouTube videos, which I started back in 2011, I still hadn't met another San Antonio YouTuber. I knew one, but he and I made such different content and worked such different schedules, we didn't really get an opportunity to work together very much. So for years, I spent a lot of time working by myself on my own videos, always hearing about the YouTube community and how great it was, but never really understanding what it was, or how big it was, or even how amazing it was. That was until VidCon retweeted a now very important person in my life, Miss Dominique. See, while randomly scrolling through Twitter, as I often do, VidCon had retweeted a small YouTuber tag by her. While looking at it, I decided, hey, I'm a small YouTuber, I've never done a tag video before, I'm going to do it. Shortly after, I filmed, recorded, and uploaded my own tag video. Now, during her video, though, she mentioned a small group of people known as the Lone Wolves, which is basically a Facebook group of people going to VidCon either for the first time or by themselves. So I signed up, started to mingle a little bit, but then Dominique decided to start another group known as the VidCon Creators Group. Now, this is where things started to get interesting. The group itself was far more active, and I knew so many people before I even got to VidCon itself. So I eagerly waited for my flight to leave for California. Now, mind you, this is the first time I've even left the state of Texas, and honestly the first time me doing anything big like this before. Yeah, I know, kind of sad. But anyways, when I arrive, I get an Uber, I get to my hotel, and I meet up with some of the Lone Wolves. However, after a tiny exchange with some of them that didn't end too pleasantly, I decided to take matters in my own hand, jumped in our creators group, and started reaching out to as many people as humanly possible. And to my surprise, it actually worked. After what was a huge blur of good times, chill vibes, great conversations, and just a feeling of belonging. See, as sad as this may be to admit, I've always been the weird kid in social situations, even in my own family. While I had hopes that VidCon was going to be amazing and awesome, these people, these absolutely amazing and beautiful people, were VidCon to me. I wasn't some weird guy with a camera and a creep as normally people will usually make me out to be. Instead, for the first time, I was accepted. In fact, in a lot of cases, I was even sought out. So rather than for once being tolerated, I was longed for. And it was something very different for me. And to think that the real catalyst of this whole thing started from one tweet from a random girl that I had never even spoken to before. But because these things happen this way, I made friendships that I have never thought in my life that I would ever have. I still remember on the ride back crying going to the airport because I didn't want to go. I did not want these feelings to end. I missed my friends. And apparently I wasn't the only one. But something amazing happened while I was out there. I met amazing people, built some amazing friendships. I met people who were just as, if not crazier than me. And I even got to meet another San Antonio YouTuber. So how was my first VidCon? It was absolutely amazing.
not be sitting in the way. How dare you.